Yay Media Group.
Hey guys, it's Stephanie.
I'm Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS.
We love a full circle moment and good news.
Shoot.
You know what I'm talking about?
The wallet?
Yep.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, we do. I could not believe it. Okay, so last time we did the podcast, I was saying how my son Chance had his wallet stolen at a McDonald's, right? And then I jumped in my car because Travis is out of town and I'm the hero. And I was like, the cops are not going to come because of a stolen wallet. I just know Dallas Police Department has better things to do. And I'm sure they're busy and they're not going to come for this, okay? And so last time, just for those who didn't listen, I showed up at McDonald's, told Chance to get in my car, and then said, which way did he go? I had a plan. My plan was to pay the man off to give the wallet back. I had his credit card canceled, so there was no money for him to buy any more McDonald's. So I was like, you know what? If I give him $20 in exchange for a wallet, then I am rewarding bad behavior, but also it's a win for me because I don't have to buy my kid a wallet and I get all his stuff back, right?
Now, I remember I had asked you if Chance's ID and stuff was in the wallet, and did Chance tell you no?
The only thing that Chance cared about was his credit card. And even though I was like, so I don't think Chance knew it was in his wallet. It was like his boating license, his regular license, and I don't know.
The driver's license is the most annoying part to get back.
Yes.
Like, what a chore.
So this was like 2 days ago. I am driving to get Cruz from school. And I just was like, everything's canceled. It's a wash. I'm not worried about this wallet and it's fine. So 2 days ago, like this was a good 6 or 7 days later after this incident happened, I'm driving Cruz to school and I get a call from a number I do not know. And I never answer, but today the Lord said, answer the phone. So I did. And it was a female police officer. And she was like, are you the mom of Chance Holman? And my heart stopped. She was like, this is so-and-so from the Dallas Police Department. Are you the mom of Chance Holman? My heart stopped.
She's the lead with more than that.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong with my kid? First of all, what did he do? And second of all, is he okay, right? But I looked at the clock and I was like, wait, Cruz isn't out of school, neither is Chance. I know that kid's in school. And while I'm talking to her, I pull up my Life 360 and I'm like, he is at school. Like, this is weird, okay? So I'm like, yes. And then my brain also goes to the time whenever they called and said that Zach was going to go to jail for not going to.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like, then I'm like, okay, this in my brain, I'm like, this is a scammer. Like, this is somebody trying to scam me and tell me I need to come there or pay them money, right? But I was ready for them. And I said, yeah, this is his mom. And then she's like, well, we've arrested a man. We just arrested a man who had your son's credit card, boater's license, and driver's license on his possession. And I said, oh, okay. And she was like, did he lose his stuff or was it stolen? I was like, it was stolen 7 days ago at a McDonald's. And I said, I'm not going to lie to you. I chased the man down and tried to negotiate to give him $20 to get it back. And he told me I was crazy and yelled at me. And I said, this is not worth my life. So I went with my son and we went back home and I just canceled everything. So she was like, okay. But I knew it was legit because nobody else, at first I was like, is it somebody that listened to the podcast that found my number and is now pranking me? And then I was like, the podcast hadn't come out yet. So I was like, wait, this is legit. And also a boating license is a weird thing for somebody to say they had. So I knew that it was him. And then she was like, well, does your son know this person? And it was like some guy's name. I was like, not that I'm aware, but he's in school, so I'll ask him, right? Then I wrote the name down. I was like, it's either Chance's friend or it's this man saying that he's friends with Chance and Chance told him he could have this stuff, right? So anyway, worked with her on it, called Chance. He had no idea who this guy was, but of course he's in school when all this is going down. So all of his friends know and they're all investigating for him on his behalf, right? So Chance gets home and he gets a message from his buddy with this guy. Oh, and first of all, and then she was like, ma'am, do you know what the guy looks like? I said, yes, this is what his description is. I said, actually, I have a picture of him that I took in case he killed me. That way people would know who to look for whenever I was trying to give him money. Yes.
Right.
Like I want to make sure if somebody kills me that my death is avenged. And so she's like, can you send me that? So I send her that and she's like, yes, this is the man we have in custody. And I said, that little liar. He told me that he did not have it. So we get home. Chance's friend sends him this guy's, I guess, like record of why he was in jail for assault with a deadly weapon. I was like, my God. And for now, a second charge, which is pretty much being a thief.
Theft. And Stephanie also wanted him charged with being rude and lying.
Yes. I'm like, how rude. But yeah, I was a little nervous when that man had my kid's stuff because I was like, oh my gosh, what if this man comes to my house, tries to kill me because he knows our address because it's probably on everything in that wallet. But the bad part is I was like, oh yes, ma'am, is the wallet there? She said, well, we just have these 3 things. No wallet. And I was like, damn, that's the only thing I really cared about because it was expensive. So anyway, here we are.
So does he have his license back?
So it takes like 2 to 3 days for them to release it to you, but I have to go to the specific location. I feel very important right now. It's called hold on. It is called the DPD property unit to get all this stuff back. So it's very exciting.
That is exciting. When Zach had this call, this was, I don't know, maybe a year ago, his boss called me and I saw she was calling and I was in a meeting and I screenshotted it and sent it to Zach. I was like, why is she calling me? And he said that he was on the phone with the police. He was called and was told that he had a warrant out for his arrest, that he missed jury duty, and they were holding him in contempt of court, and he had to go to the police station downtown and gave him the address, gave him the correct address to the police station. And then they called him maybe 10, 15 minutes later and were like, hey, if you actually just pay this fine, we are like too busy to deal with this right now, so we will just take the fine and go from there. But like bring the fine to this address. And he was like, okay. And then they called me and said, actually, if you're not close, just pay by a link and we'll send you a link. And that's when he was like, And at the time I was sitting in a meeting with someone that was their friend was a lawyer. And I said, hey, is this legit? And they quickly called their friend and was like, no, people miss jury duty all the time. Like they do not have enough time or resources to dedicate to doing this. Turned out it was a whole scam, but it's a very common scam. So
yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I do not trust anybody anymore. Like,
no, with the way AI is going about things in this world,
no,
I trust nothing.
I trust nothing. I feel like everybody's out to scam you. Like any call that I get, if they're like, I mean, I had a, Terminex call. I was so rude to them for like a month. I said, they were like, oh, you owe us, like, I think a credit card got changed or something, so they couldn't bill us. And I was like, you are scamming me, da-da-da-da-da. Anyways, and then finally they kept calling. And then I was like, wait, you're scamming me. I'm going to hang up and call back. And I called Terminex and they were like, yes, ma'am, it's legit. I'm like, I am so sorry. I do not trust anybody anymore. Like, okay. I really don't.
So something else that scammers are doing now, I got a call, this is like 2 or 3 weeks ago, from AT&T, and they were calling to lower my bill. And I said, never in my life have you called to lower my bill. And I said, what's my phone number? And they gave me my mom's phone number. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. And I was asking what my last month's account balance was. And he said, I can pull that up for you. He said, what is your email address? And I said, well, what email address do you have on file?
Oh, was it really AT&T?
No. So I am asking this guy questions that he should know if he's calling to lower my bill.
Yes.
And he did not have answers. So finally he hung up. So I called the number back. When I called the number back, there's a way that you can call somebody using someone else's number.
Oh.
It was some like older lady. She was like, hello? Weird. And I was like, hi. And yeah, it was, I don't know. There's all these things they're very sketchy. And there was that company, was it yesterday, Stryker? They got hacked. Did you see that?
No, but let's take a break real quick and then come back and tell me all about that.
Back to the scams. Okay, so there's a company, a medical device company called Stryker in the United States.
Oh,
they
my
have like
God.
250,000 employees.
Wait.
All their stuff was wiped yesterday.
My ex-boyfriend used to work for them, and they're it's a medical device company.
Yeah.
I swear, Stryker. I
Huge
swear they did
company.
like back. He was like he sold to spine surgeons.
Yeah. So apparently some I think it was Iranian group. It's a politically charged attack. Got in the system that controls all the employees' devices and wiped everything.
That is crazy.
So 250,000 people have nothing to do today.
Oh my
Long story short.
250,001 people, because I have nothing to do today.
Yeah,
too.
that's right.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I know, scams are getting scammier. I was telling Stephanie and Chance that going after the homeless man was not the best idea, because we have homeless people that kind of just hang around Cedar Springs. There's a church at the end of
I think we're supposed to say unhoused, but it's just sorry. I'm horrible.
They are.
Yes, unhoused. Yes.
And there's a church at the end of the street, and they will, or they maybe they don't anymore, but they would feed them breakfast, and so they would kind of all come down by my bar in the morning. And
I've done that at that church before.
What? Gotten breakfast?
Yes, for with Chance.
You served breakfast.
Yes, yeah,
I was
that
breakfast is not for you.
No. I've served there. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so they would kind of hang around Cedar Springs for a while. And we had one guy, he was an unhoused man, and he was normally in a very great mood. He was normally just the happiest. I don't know what drugs they take to make them just so happy, but he was on that, a lot of it. And then one day he was not so happy, and we kicked him out. And he came back about 30 minutes later with a very large knife and was tapping it on our glass. So we locked the door, kept everyone inside. We're no one's leaving. And we called the police. And this is how DPD is just so overwhelmed and understaffed. They did not respond for 8 hours. We said, there is a man with a machete at our door. We are inches apart. If anyone is available, anyone.
Oh my God.
Just, send them over. Even the fire department next door to me was hey, we're closing the garage doors. 8 hours later, they showed up. This man had stabbed 2 people between now and then.
Oh my, I would lock my door and hide in the bathroom.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So do you ever watch 2020?
Only if it's
I do
if
for
I know
fun.
it's good.
I watched 3 episodes last night. And it's on Hulu. And I also watched that one thing you asked me to watch 2 weeks ago, the Spencer Pratt thing. By the way. Yeah, I did. Just for you, 2 weeks late. But I was watching this thing. It's speaking about police officers that get calls and then don't show up. And I knew they wouldn't show up for Chance. And I don't blame them. It's a wallet. I get it. But there's this girl on this 2020 episode. Find it. It was fascinating. But also, I had the worst nightmares of my life last night. And when I say I got 3 hours of sleep, I got 3 hours. I woke up in a sweat, Travis was traveling. It was so stressful. My whole night last night was stressful because of this one episode. So it was this episode of this mom of 2 young kids, and she gets kidnapped from her. Her husband comes home, and both of her kids are in their crib together. Right, they're very young kids, and her husband comes home and doesn't know where she is, and he calls the police to 911, and I guess 911 usually they're well, a lot of people leave on their own accord.
Wait, where was this? Was this in California?
Maybe. Do you know what this is?
I think I remember hearing about this.
Okay, so
they thought the husband did it?
They always think the husband did it, but this one, right away, they took it seriously because the girl's father worked as an investigator with the police department.
Oh.
So he worked for the crimes unit or something. And so her father was no, you don't understand. This, she would never do this. How, my daughter is missing, right? So they take it very seriously because it's somebody from within, and so everybody is out looking for this girl. Well, this girl, this mom of 2 kids, ends up stealing the kidnapper's phone. She sees it, she steals it, calls 911, and is laying her head on the phone with the 911 operator, literally giving them clues of who this, talking to this man, where are we, telling them her name, but in a way that he would never know. She very, very, very smart, right? and says what the, they know what the car is. They know everything, right? And you can hear the man talking on the other side. So the 911 operator's on the phone. And then at some point, the man's like, where's my phone? They hear him pull over and he takes it from her and turns it off, right? Mm-hmm. So then he, I think, freaks out. So he goes to his cousin's house, okay? And he goes to his cousin's house, which is in like the next county over, I believe. And he tells his cousin, like, I need to borrow a shovel, a gas can, and a flashlight. And his cousin does this. By the way, this girl who he has kidnapped, who is like tied up, is out of the car screaming and yelling, help me, I've been kidnapped, right? Mm-hmm. But his cousin's a weenie and doesn't want to get involved because his cousin's crazy. So his cousin calls his teenage daughter and says, hey, this is going on, call the 911, but I don't want to be involved.
What?
Swear to God. Okay, so he's like, I do not want to be involved. So so the daughter calls 911 and is like, hey, my uncle or my father just called and my uncle came over with this girl tied up, borrowing a shovel, a gas can, and a flashlight, okay? So he doesn't, and the people were like, well, can you give me the address? She's like, he does not want to be involved because my uncle's crazy. Like, well, but this is happening, okay? And this is the car and this is the man. And that's all I'm going to give you. So then like, 20 minutes later, this uncle, the girl's father, who gave all this stuff to this guy, who's obviously kidnapped a woman, walks to a payphone and anonymously, quote unquote, calls 911 and says, I'm not going to tell you how I know this, but this happened, right? So they're out like searching everywhere for this girl. And like there's a ton of tips coming in, right? Like the girl called, very brave of her, then this other person. So then another, like I guess in another county over, but all the 911 calls were happening within the same unit, right? Uh-huh. So then I guess this lady is driving and she sees what looks like a kid screaming and banging, like the kid's been kidnapped. She thinks it's a kid that's been kidnapped, banging on the window of this same car. But as soon as she called, she went into another county. So it was a different 911 system that wasn't the one that had gotten all these other tips. And she's like, the man, we locked eyes and he saw me. He's like driving behind me, but there's something going on. Like, I think that there's something wrong with this kid. And she doesn't realize it's I think it was like a 21-year-old woman in the backseat. And so she's on the phone with this 911 operator. She's telling them where she is. Mm-hmm. And then the people, I guess, realize that something was happening. So they get in the other lane with this woman who's been kidnapped and turn the other way. And she tells them exactly where they're turning, the whole thing, right? They do nothing. Like she is like telling them nothing. Like they know exactly this location, but I guess nothing ever happens. Like they never go and follow up on it. They probably thought it was, I don't know what they thought, and they also never put it in the system like you're supposed to. They were just telling each other. So the other county who's actually actively looking for this woman would know that there was a sighting, right? Like something weird's happening and it was the same type of car. Anyway, long story short, now you don't have to listen to it. If you want to watch it, then fast forward. But long story short, the next day they like find the man's house and everything else, like where the man is, and saw that he had like tied her up. There was a pillow and blanket for her to sleep on. They had been there. The TV was super, super loud, so probably you couldn't hear what was going on in there, right? And then, wait, okay, we'll come right back and I'll tell you the finale. It's really interesting. Okay, so they noticed in that house that this lady had been there. The TV was on, like something had happened. And they end up pulling this guy over, right? And you're thinking, okay, this is over. The girl did everything right, okay? And he was there, but no sign of her. And inside, and whenever he got out, they said it was really interesting because he was like wet and muddy from his like the bottom down. And the shovel had dirt all over it. And it still had the gas can and the flashlight. Long story short, this girl ends up getting murdered by this man. And there's zero reason she should have, she did everything right. There were like between her and 2 other people, there were very good tips. People knew like the locations and everything.
That's insane.
And the husband and the kids and the girl's father ended up suing.
Everyone.
That like probably the police department or whatever. I think they got like $1.2 million because had they actually like done what they were supposed to, like followed protocol, that girl would have 100% been saved. Wow. Because the other county knew exactly who this man was, had all the information. But yeah, it was so crazy, but literally terrifying. But yeah, that's kind of, anyways. So last night I just had nightmares all night. I was like, oh my gosh, it was so, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, they're going to save her. Like there's too much going on.
What? Let me tell you, if I ever get kidnapped, call anyone except for the team that is in charge of Savannah Guthrie's mom.
Oh my gosh.
Because the fact that woman is still missing is
insane.
Crazy.
It is insane.
Also, I got a news alert this past week from TMZ that Rachel Zoe's house was broken into.
Oh my gosh.
And I texted one of our friends that we're on dinner with tonight. Uh-huh. We were on that cruise, and she knows some people in Beverly Hills, and this was during BravoCon, and Sutton and Kathy Hilton's homes were broken into. So we were talking about this on the cruise.
Oh, during BravoCon.
Yes.
Oh
and
my gosh.
I told her, hey, tell the people you're talking to, they should look at production. Because if you look at who all in that cast has had their home broken into, Kyle multiple times, Kyle's daughters have had their homes broken into, Dorit, Sutton, Kathy, and now Rachel Zoe.
That's insane.
So if we're, trying to say, what's the common denominator here? Production knows your schedule. Production knows the way around your house. Production knows all. I'm like,
See, I just don't know. I don't think it would be production. You do? I don't.
Yeah.
I just think.
Absolutely.
I think California, there's so many, like.
But it seems like people from that show keep getting targeted.
Because they're really rich and people know that. I mean, but why not Jennifer Tilly? Because they better leave her alone. She's so smart. She has like, I bet you, Fort Knox.
Oh,
she's really the only one, her and Erica.
I think Jennifer Tilly, Erica's home was broken into after she moved out.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Her old Pasadena house. I feel like Jennifer Tilly, especially with how much jewelry she has and how much she talks about her jewelry, I think she probably has security there all the time.
And probably she doesn't have her jewelry like on it at her house, like on her.
No, I'm sure not. But I remember someone saying this, that when Sutton and Kathy's house was broken into, that they thought maybe it was someone with the security company.
I mean, if you need to get, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That would be like that would forever traumatize me. I understand Dorit's trauma around that. If someone broke into my house, that would really
Especially
bother me.
if you're there, like that's terrifying.
Now, I can tell you one house I would never want to break into is Stephanie and Travis's, because they have guns, but better than a gun, Travis is a flamethrower. So if you think, this wireless hole puncher coming at you scary, imagine Travis Holman coming at you with a really annoying alarm system
that I set off almost daily. I cannot turn off.
But like a gun's one thing.
And a 99-year-old
old man that has
nothing better to do.
But a flamethrower, you are running towards the creek just hoping that you can dive in before he gets you again.
Why he bought a flamethrower, I do not know. But I do remember like a long time ago, this is when we lived in our house in Irving. We were asleep. And one thing I will say about my husband, he is really not afraid of anything. I will say he could take him. He can handle his own. He really is not. And he forgot that his sister was visiting. This was a long time ago. And because his dad was staying with us and his sister came in. And like we did not realize that she went out to the bars or whatever, right? Like we didn't know she was gone. And it was like 2 a.m. and he heard somebody like creeping in the house. So he wakes, I think he's probably butt naked, probably knowing my husband, gets his gun and like is figuring out who it is. And it was his sister. And he was like, Kimberly, you have to like, say something. Cause I literally thought there was an intruder, but yeah, he would definitely, he would not be, you just can't do that in Texas. Like too many people.
No. I need to do something about my husband. He has a sleep talking issue. Mm-hmm. And last night he did this again, where he will wake up like screaming. And he does not remember it, but like wakes me up. And sometimes he's laying down, sometimes he's like sitting up. But there's been a handful of times where he will wake up screaming and he's sitting up and I can't tell which direction he's facing. And I'm like, has someone broken in? And also like, that's not helpful.
Yes.
Like the screaming is not helpful. But it terrifies me.
Who would be the hero if somebody...
Well, apparently me, because he just sits there screaming. But he does not remember this. And apparently he said, and his sister's in town and she was saying that she also like sleep talks. I'm like, well, we need to like have y'all address that as a family.
Yes.
Because that's a problem in my life. Because y'all wake up sleep screaming.
See, Travis is not talking asleep, but he snores so loud sometimes that I just am like, I literally, it is a race to go to bed before, like to go to sleep before him. I'm like, watch TV. And then I make myself go to sleep because if he goes to sleep before me, I cannot sleep because all I hear is like, I hate the sound of snoring. It's literally like chalkboard, like nails on a chalkboard to me. I cannot sleep through it. But he can
Has
snore.
he always been a snorer?
No, I can tell, like, it's so funny. I can tell like, like little bit with when his weight fluctuates, he starts snoring. And then I think if he's like over like stressed or like there's a lot going on at work, I think he's so tired. When he's like really tired, he'll start like he snores as well. I think because he's so tired, like it's such a deep sleep. But I mean, also he's a man that will wake up like at 4 a.m. in the middle of the night and just like, I think his brain just goes all the time. He needs more of a life like me where I don't have a care in the world except for that 2020 episode I watched.
So he called me the other day to tell me about something that's stressing him out in life right now. And he said, and on top of that, I woke up this morning and Stephanie told me that if I want to be beautiful like her, I need to start getting 9 hours of sleep.
I did. I said, listen. Because he woke up and he looked like he only had like 5 hours of sleep. I said, oh my gosh, you need to go back to sleep. I said, you do not look well. And then he said, what? And I said, Travis, for like for the beauty, you need like at least 8 hours of sleep a night, between 7 and 9, I believe. I make sure I get 8 hours of sleep every night, I said. And then I said, also for your brain health, like it really does. There's like research on it. Like if you are not getting adequate sleep, you cannot make good decisions. It's not good for your brain. Now, mine, but also as important, it really does, makes you not look good.
I've never been a sleeper. Like if I sleep in, there's probably a problem. Like something's going on. I've always woken up at like 6, 7 a.m.
You're going to be the best.
Like my brain just starts at that time.
You're going to be the best dad because carpool is killing me right now. And I feel like you could come by, pick Cruz. You should. You should do that. You have nothing more to do.
I put in my time with that.
Like
there were many days.
Yes, you need but I know, but just so you have something to do during that time, 6:20 I leave to, come carpool. You would love it. I have to wake up at 6, like 6:20, crawl out of my bed, like go wake him up. Sometimes I'll go right back to sleep too. And then I'm like, why? They say it's really not good to do that. But I'm not a morning person. No, I hate it.
There are many days where I will like go to the gym, come home, get ready and fully leave the house for the day. And Zach and me, mind you, I have no 9 to 5 schedule. Zach does. And he's still in bed. By the time I leave, I'm like, okay, well, bye.
Yeah. You know who's really impressive is Chance, because he has to be right now. He has to be at football at he has to be there at 6, right? And some reason he's really killing it with his grades. See, this is what I did wrong. Did I tell you about, or maybe I'll leave that to our next episode about my sister. But he will wake up, like himself up. I do not wake him up. I do not worry about that child. Like he will wake up at 5:30 a.m., sets his own alarm. I will wake Cruz up at 6:20. Chance is already long gone. It's impressive.
Chance is a morning person. Cruz is like a little gremlin in the morning.
No, he is cranky. He is, yeah. He
is not happy to see you.
No, it is. And I swear, he'll take a shower and then I swear he's just laying in bed waiting for me to be like, it's time to go. And then he throws his clothes on because I've never seen anybody who cannot get out of the house to save his life. Okay, on that note, thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow me at Steph Holman on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart. You can follow our podcast, BS the Podcast, and you can watch us on YouTube at Weekly Dose of BS. Bye.
Bye.